Oh, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. What's up? This is the Culinary Student podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for waking up today. Thank you for just being you. My name is Jeremiah. I'm going to be your host today and tomorrow. Let's get to it. Something I wanted to dive back into was the passion trap. You know, it was something that I brought up for my last podcast when I was talking to myself. And it was something that really like hit me because I actually read an article about it like maybe like a week before that podcast, and it was really shocking to know that your own passion could lead to you not connecting with the world of your environment around you anymore, or you losing passion for what you're doing and what you believe in so much. And I kind of was like curious to like how can passion be a problem? How can that be the thing that causes conflict within yourself? And I kind of looked at it through the lens of like a relationship. Like a lot of people have these high standards or these expectations when it comes to what they want in any other person or significant other as they go about the dating scene. And I think that's the same thing as what happens with passion. I think like we go into the culinary field with all these expectations of what food means to us, what it should be, what it should be for our customers and the people around us. And when those passions aren't met or those expectations aren't there, we kind of like fall into this trap where, wow, maybe this is not meant for me. Maybe this relationship isn't working out. It's not you, it's me. And then you lose faith in the organization around you, and that's where you fucking just start to kind of like fall off. You're like, oh man, like what's wrong? What am I doing wrong? How do I get back up from this? And those are like always like hard decisions to make, like no matter what, no matter if you're passionate about something or not. Those questions that you ask yourself about, like, how am I going to be successful today? How do I get myself motivated to get through this day? Those are always hard questions, and it takes a lot for people to really get out of bed and be motivated and get into that environment or that state of mind where I'm going to attack the day and it's going to be like the best day ever. How do you get out this passion trap? I think you have to start by redefining what passion is to you. And like when I look at passion, I think about it like in a matter of passion is a dream. Passion is the dream. Passion is the end goal. It's what we dreamed about as a kid. Is the reason why we went to school for culinary arts. Is the reason why we joined any industry or set out to create some kind of change in what we do or what the people around us see or know. And so if passion is the dream, then that means that like every other dream, you have to have the determination to accomplish it. And in order to have the determination to do anything, you need to have a set of goals and you need to make decisions. So I think passion is just you making decisions, like in order to accomplish what you believe any kind of place you work in needs to be. And there's a definitely conflict, like I said multiple times, where we do have to adjust for our organizations, we do have to change for our environments, and that's where conflict occurs in a big way, where like I was let go from a job a year ago. And I think the biggest cause of that let go was the conflict of passion. I think my passion and my beliefs in what culinary should be didn't align with what their passions and their beliefs on what culinary should be. And it wasn't even like, everybody believes in great food. Everybody believes in, taking care of the customer. Everyone believes in like, classic and delicious culinary techniques and traditions that, we bring back to life in a various different ways. I think it was just a matter of, honestly, I don't know what the fuck the matter. Yeah, I mean, I'm on my side in this argument. So Fuck those guys for letting me go. Nah, that's a rant. I think it's more of a matter of some places see the world differently from you, and you can't really change the way people see the world. You can't change the way people, go about their day. You can't change any of that. All you can do is find a way to connect and build off that connection. And if there's no connection there, then you need to know that you need to walk away from that. You got to walk away from that environment, because that's when you get stuck in that trap. That's when you're fighting for something that is never going to come to be. You're fighting for ideals and beliefs that no one else is, fighting with you for. And that's when you need to really reevaluate your determination. You got to reevaluate your goals, and you got to, you know, make new decisions that's going to help you accomplish those goals. A couple of quotes I saw today, super inspirational quotes. Uh, in any moment, a decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. Theodore Roosevelt, 26th President of the United States of America. And he was a fucking great president. He didn't do much, but he was a great speech giver. Another quote that I found: you cannot make progress without making decisions. Jim Rohn, entrepreneur, author, and motivational speaker. I think it's very good to find inspiration in other people and in the environment around you. And I think the biggest cause of a passion trap is when you're in an environment that isn't inspiring you and isn't motivating you and isn't encouraging you to become the best that you can be. And I think a lot of people have trouble identifying when they're in that kind of environment. And more importantly, I think people have a hard time getting out of that environment. Like, what's a trap? A trap is when you're stuck, is when you can't get out of something, is when you need help. You need someone to say, hey, you got to get out of here. This is not for you. And not a lot of people have those people on their side. A lot of people are very alone in this world, and they have to figure this stuff out on their own. And it's very scary to have to hey, change your entire life around, or give up on something that you dedicated so long, your life to, that you know all of a sudden this is not making you happy. All of a sudden, this is not the place for you to be. It's impossible. It's like this can't be right, because I know I love what I'm doing. So why do I feel like I'm in a mindset where, oh, this is not the place I need to be, or this place is, I don't like doing this anymore. It's not a place. It's not. You say to yourself, I don't like doing this anymore. I'm not happy anymore. We On those little dark thoughts and those ideals, they draw out your passion. They whip out your determination. They make you feel like a little lost in life. We have to realize it's not your passion that's wrong here. It's probably your environment. It's probably your team. It's probably the concepts around you. And then we need to learn how to walk away from that. And so let's look at our determination. Determination is our abilities to make decision, and decision making skills is like one of the most important things that a chef needs to have anyway. Like, you need to be able to weigh out the pros and cons. You need to focus on the desired outcome, and you need to trust your inner voice. Like, I've ignored that little thought in your head for the longest time. It's very bad what your thoughts are saying. Sometimes it's very negative. You have to understand why those thoughts are coming up. You have to listen to those thoughts, and you got to you know really evaluate how you're going to go about changing those thoughts into something positive, in order to in order to accomplish your goals and get back out there and really light that fire. Because the moment you lose that fire, man, the moment you lose that, I'm gonna go have a great day at work today. I'm gonna do this. The moment you lose that drive to go out there and get shit done, it does become hard every day. It does become like this depression. It does become this sadness. And more importantly, like you turn to vices that make you even worse. There's so many people in the industry who drink too much or smoke too much or and I'm not talking about marijuana, man. They're smoking other stuff. This isn't marijuana that they're smoking. And they turn into these vices because it kind of like gets them through the day, gets them through the night. Like at least I get a beer tonight. At least I get to go to a party tonight. And we rely more and more on those in order to be happy and feel like we're in the right place right now. We just have to get through this little slump. But what if it's not a slump? What if, you know, you're starting to feel burned out, you're starting to feel sad and the more and more you dive into this trap, the more and more it gets you, the more and more likely that you're never gonna move, you're never gonna progress, you're never gonna grow. We have to do the scariest thing. And the scariest thing you can do when you're in a trap is cut is is bite your fucking arm off. Or you know what animals do. Like a fox would fucking gnaw its leg off in order to escape a trap and fucking limp away. One now he's a three-legged fox. That's it. Like he made that sacrifice in order to get on with his life because he couldn't take it anymore. He's not gonna sit there in writhing pain until someone comes and put him out of his misery. And how many people do you know is gonna bite their arm off? How many people do you know is gonna take that L or take that pay cut or take that demotion in life, you know, and have the strength to not see it that way? Not a lot of people. And I think the biggest part about that is because we maybe we lost touch with our dream a little bit because of this trap. Maybe we lost touch with the why we're doing this a little bit. And then we get lost in the organization and rely on it too much to guide us and teach us. When all the information you need is literally at your fingertips. If you have a cell phone, you can literally learn everything you need to learn about culinary arts as far as, looking up techniques, practicing those techniques at home, reading books and diving into knowledge. And this is like true stuff. Like, how do you re-incite your passion? How do you get your determination back? And like, as a young chef in the culinary industry, when you feel like you're kind of lost and don't know what the hell you're doing, and people aren't, you don't, you're having trouble finding the right mentors who's helping to guide you. You gotta mentor yourself. You have to re-fire your own passions. You have to bring it back in yourself, and you have to do that by diving into like multitudes of things. Like, it's funny. Like, the more you, in a way, you get away from culinary arts. You take a breath from it. You read a book about fucking poetry. You draw a painting. You go and do a little writing on the side. You take a walk in the park. You become jogger. You work out. You take these mental breaks where you finally have the time to think about everything that's going on in your life, and it really helps you to refocus on your main passion as far as getting back into the kitchen. Like, I watched one of my favorite movies before. There was a quote and it said, Flannery O'Connor. And Flannery O'Connor said that everything a writer needs, in like all the inspiration, all the creativity that a writer needs, happens before their 18th birthday party. Like, before you turn 18, you have to really expose yourself. You have to go out. You have to be around people. You have to read. You have to fall in love. You have to get your heart broken. You have to just live as a kid. And that's what kids do. Kids live. Kids live every day. The kids are like, I'm gonna go bang my head against that wall for fun, you know? And that's what they go and do. And you're like, what's wrong with this kid? That kid's living his best life right now. And he's gonna remember that for the next couple of years. And then when he turns 18, that's when, reality sets in. And you're like, that's when you have to like fight all these corporations and all these passion drainers and get out of these traps. And what do you have in order to get out those traps? You have those 18 years of freedom, those 18 years of creativity, of fun, of being with your friends, of laughing. Like, I once told my wife that, like, hey, like, your mom gave you the best thing ever. Your mom gave you the freedom, the comfort, the area of safety to be who you want to be and know what your focuses are, like don't forget those lessons, because those lessons are what's gonna get you through all this like bullshit that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis when it comes to your career. And let me tell you, man, career ain't no joke. As always, we want to get into the arts, the poetry, the lines, the words. And I wrote something down about what this vlog, video blog, yeah, whatever, means to me in a way, or what the message I'm trying to get through. I don't know if I'm living in a dream anymore. Before, everything felt so exciting, even the failure. It meant we were taking risks and placing bets. Maybe some of those didn't pan out, but the ones that did made us feel like we can do anything. What does this mean to me? How does this, connect to what I'm trying to say? Like, I talked about failure before and how you have to be in a safe environment to fail and get back up and do it again. You have to have the right people in your life to recognize your failures and help you to face them again. Not a lot of people have those mentors and guides to get through those things. When you dream and you dream big, you're going to fail a lot. There's going to be a lot of times when you fall down. And what does that mean? Does that mean the dream's not going to work or not be successful? No, it means that you have to change your approach. It means you have to reevaluate your goals and really set yourself up to succeed next time. Because like it's not a matter of like, oh, I hit a wall, okay, that's it. It's a matter of, all right, this wall is higher than the last wall. I need to bring some tools with me this time. I need to bring some equipment. And what are the equipments that a chef can bring to the kitchen? A chef needs to bring, you know a chef needs to bring passion. A chef need to bring ideals to the kitchen. They need to bring like knowledge, and they need to bring like, they have to bring them like their heart. You have to bring your heart to your kitchen. Like these things, like I said, like as a child you grow up and you get all these things and you build these things. You have to make sure it's strong, because like they're going to pick at it, they're going to poke at it, they're going to make sure like, oh, this guy, this guy, this guy, this girl, this girl, this girl, especially women. Like, I'm not being sexist here, I respect all women. I'm saying like women have to work even harder than men. Just like everyone, there's always someone who has to work harder than you. You know what I mean? And that's what I think about every single day. Like, yeah, I'm going through all this stuff. Someone else has gone through it even more. Someone else is working even harder than I am to get these things accomplished for themselves. So there's no time to complain. There's no time to like kind of like, daddle in your fears and your doubts. You really do have to like take a step back from it all. Realize that you're not the only one going through stuff. Realize that everyone else is trying to fight the same fight you're trying to fight. And maybe that's the connection that you need to make in order to revive your passion and get that determination to push through every single day. Like a lot of people really get lost in the self, where it's like, I think I'm the only one going through all this stuff. No, if you want to get lost in yourself, get lost in understanding who you are, get lost in in your ideals and what you believe, and make those things stronger so that you can fight and be more passionate and be more determined and not fall into traps. Because once you fall, like, again, once you fall into those traps, that's when you start to lose a piece of yourself and who you are, and that's when you start to doubt yourself and fear what you could become. And it's nothing worse than fearing your own ideals and your own concepts, like to a point where we don't fall out of passion. We lose faith in ourselves. And that's like a big thing, right? Like you're losing faith in all these ideals and beliefs that you've had your entire life. You start to give up, you start to lose hope, you start to feel these doubts. you're losing faith in who you are as a person every single in that moment. And you have to fucking like stop that. You have to stop that because like who's gonna believe in you if you don't believe in you? I don't shoot. It's as simple as that. Like who's gonna believe in you if you don't believe in yourself, bro? You know what my father sent me the other day? My father, he's a fun guy, dude. He's like before it was like long talks and conversations, like long-winded speeches. Like I mean, like worse than grandma, when she prayed. And I talked to you guys about grandma's prayer. Grandma's prayer was hours long. My father's speeches about life and motivations was like, yo, we used to be in his car for like, Dad, it's 10 o'clock, man. We have school tomorrow. And he's still going on about about all the corruption and all the badness in the world and how we need to be strong and all that in order to get it. And you don't listen to these guys when you're kids. You don't listen to them like at all. But when you grow up, you realize all those words and all that wisdom and all that stuff really did like resonate in you and make you who you are today. Like there's so many lessons that I learned from people like my grandfather and my father and my mother and like my aunties and uncles that in that moment, I didn't care about. I didn't think was important, or I did listen, but I didn't know what it meant. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like all I have to do is, write this homework assignment and my life is easy peasy again. Like I don't it's just homework that I don't need the, long-winded speech. Little did you know that that homework assignment would be like, you know, it would come back to you in a new way. You would have to face it in a different way as you get older and you enter into life. Like everything that they said that you were going to face in life, it comes at you, but it doesn't come at you in like books and stuff like that. It comes at you in it comes at you in like real time. Like it's like, damn, this guy is actually trying to attack me right now with his ideologies and his beliefs and trying to overcome my own. And I remember doing a homework assignment about how do you counter ideologies and help people to mediate their own beliefs and control your own and create ideals from different ideologies. And like in that moment you thought, oh, this is probably never going to happen until it does. And it's like, how do you face those challenges? You look back, you think about all these people who taught you, all the experience that you had, and all the wisdom that you've acquired up to this point, and you attack these things one at a time. You put out the problems, you lay out the solutions, you pick which one's gonna do, pick which solution you want to do, and then you evaluate that solution. If that solution didn't work, you talk to your team. You say, all right, we got to take a step back. We have to look at the other solutions that we come up with, and then we have to commit to that one next. And that's what passion and determination is. Like we need to take a step back sometimes. We need to say, okay, this is not working. Let me try this out. Then we take a step forward with that, and then you see the results. It works, and guess what? You didn't sacrifice your passion to do that. You didn't sacrifice who you are. You didn't sacrifice your ideals. All you did was take a step back, take a breath, read a book, look to mentors and friends, and then you took a step forward with a fresh idea, with a fresh mindset, with the same determination and even more passion towards this new goal, this new dream, and it's all the same, man. Like I think the biggest thing about a trap is sometimes sometimes you gotta bite your arm off, and it's gotta hurt. Guys, thank you so much for listening. And I'm sorry for the late podcast too. Like usually it's Thursdays, but something happened yesterday where I had to sleep in for work. You understand? And so hopefully tomorrow I can come at you with a little more knowledge and more information, so I can give you a little double whammy action. But until then, as always, thank you for joining today and listening to my rants, thoughts, and ideals. Please do share in the comments below if you are interested in my work. Please find me at Palladia on Instagram. And if you're interested in my writing, thewriterart.com is also found on my channel. Please, please, please follow, share, and let people know that that there's someone out there who just wants to have a conversation. Thank you.